The stars looked cold and distant from Earth's last military base, hidden deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Humanity was losing the war. Everyone knew it. For 15 years, the Viridian Collective had pushed humans back, colony by colony, moon by moon, until only Earth remained. Captain Helena Reyes stood before the massive viewing window, her scared face reflected in the glass. Below her, thousands of workers swarmed around a massive ship unlike anything humanity had built before, the HMS Nemesis, Earth's last hope. "They say it won't work," said Commander Takahashi as he joined her at the window. "The scientists claim the dark matter core is unstable." Helena's eyes never left the ship. "Let them talk. We're out of options." The Nemesis was ugly. Where alien ships were elegant and curved, this human battleship was a monster of sharp angles and exposed weapons. It broke every rule of ship design. It violated 7 interstellar treaties, and it was the only thing standing between humanity and extinction. "Launch is tomorrow," Helena said. "Is your engineering team ready?" Takahashi nodded. "As ready as we'll ever be." "The crew is scared, Captain." "Good," she replied. "Fear keeps people sharp." Helena knew about fear. She had felt nothing else since watching the collective ships turn Mars colony to ash 5 years ago. Her husband and daughter had died there, along with 2 million others. The aliens didn't even bother with demands or warnings. They simply destroyed. Later that night, Helena walked through the empty corridors of the Nemesis. Her footsteps echoed on metal floors not yet worn by use. The ship was massive, nearly 2 kilometers long and built in absolute secrecy. While the collective thought humans were begging for peace, they had been building this monster. At the heart of the ship, behind layers of shielding, sat the dark matter core. It pulsed with strange energy, sometimes seeming to bend the light around it. The engineers avoided looking directly at it. Helena stared right into its depths. "We have our orders, Captain," said Admiral Chen, appearing behind her. "Take the Nemesis into collective space. Show them humanity isn't finished." Helena nodded. "And the real mission parameters, sir." The Admiral handed her a sealed data chip. "For your eyes only. Open it once you're beyond the solar system." Dawn broke over the underwater base. Final preparations were made in grim silence. The crew of 300, humanity's best pilots, engineers, and soldiers, boarded with few words. Many left family behind. Most expected never to return. Helena took her place on the command bridge, the captain's chair feeling strange beneath her. Around her, the crew worked at their stations, faces tense but determined. "Dark matter core online," reported Takahashi from engineering. "Power level stable. For now." "Weapons systems green," said Security Chief Rodriguez. "All batteries loaded and ready." Helena took a deep breath. The weight of humanity's survival pressed down on her shoulders. "Launch sequence initiated," she said. "Prepare for ascent." Today we stop running. The massive underwater doors opened above them. Water rushed around the hull as the Nemesis rose toward the surface, toward space, toward war. The last battleship of humanity was on its way, and the galaxy was about to learn what cornered humans were capable of. The Nemesis moved through the darkness of space like a shadow. For 3 weeks, they had traveled in silence, staying far from the usual travel routes. Now they approached their first target, a Viridian collective outpost in the Cygnus Arm. Captain Helena Reyes stood on the bridge, her face hard as stone. The crew worked quietly around her. No one had seen collective ships this close before and lived to tell about it. "Outpost coming into visual range," said Lou from the communication station. On the main screen, a beautiful structure appeared. It looked like a silver flower blooming in space, its delicate arms reaching outward. "That's their military base," asked Rodriguez, the security chief. "Looks more like art than a fortress." "That's why they're winning," Helena replied. "Their technology is centuries ahead of ours, but today that changes." She opened a channel to the whole ship. "Battle stations. Prepare main weapons. Throughout the massive ship, crews rushed to their positions. In the engine room, Takahashi watched the dark matter core with worried eyes. It pulsed faster than normal, small flashes of impossible colors dancing across its surface. "Captain," he called over the comm. "The core is showing unusual readings. We should be careful with power draws." "Noted," Helena replied. "But we proceed as planned." The Nemesis moved closer to the outpost, still undetected. The aliens had never bothered to hide their bases well. Why would they? No human ship had ever attacked them directly. "They've spotted us," Liu announced. "They're sending a message. They're asking us to identify ourselves." Helena smiled for the first time in days. "Let's introduce ourselves properly. Target their central hub. Fire main kinetic drivers." The Nemesis shuddered as massive tungsten rods accelerated to incredible speeds. Unlike the energy weapons the Collective used, these were simple metal projectiles moving so fast they hit with the force of nuclear bombs. No fancy technology, just physics and human ingenuity. The rods struck the beautiful silver station. There was no spectacular explosion, no fireball. The rods simply punched through the structure from one side to the other, leaving perfect holes. A moment later, the station began to break apart as air rushed out and systems failed. "Their shields didn't stop our attack," Rodriguez said in amazement. "They didn't even slow the rods down. They're designed for energy weapons, not physical impacts," Helena explained. "Fire again. Target their ship base." A second barrage tore through the remaining structures. Small Collective ships tried to launch but were caught in the destruction. Within minutes, the outpost was reduced to floating debris. "We did it," whispered someone on the bridge. But Helena was already moving on. "Prepare to jump to our next coordinates. We hit them hard, and we keep moving. Never let them catch us." As the Nemesis prepared to leave, they intercepted communications from nearby Collective worlds. Liu translated the alien languages, her eyes growing wide. "Captain, they're confused. They don't understand what happened. Some are asking if it was a natural disaster. Others," she paused, "others are using a word I've never seen before in their communications." "What word?" Helena asked. Liu looked up. "The closest translation is fear." In the engine room, Takahashi watched the dark matter core pulse in rhythm with the ship's movements. For a moment, he thought he saw something move inside it, something that didn't belong. Then it was gone. The Nemesis vanished into the darkness, leaving only destruction behind. The hunt had begun. Word spread fast across Collective space. 3 more outposts had been destroyed in less than 2 weeks. The pattern was always the same. A massive human ship would appear, attack without warning, and vanish before reinforcements arrived. Rumors began to grow about a demon ship that could appear anywhere. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Captain Helena Reyes studied the star map showing their destruction path. "Target 4 is here," she said, pointing to a supply station. "We hit it tomorrow." Rodriguez shook his head. "The crew is calling you the Ghost now. 4 attacks, and not a single casualty on our side." Helena didn't smile. "The real fight hasn't started yet. They're still surprised. That won't last." In the communications room, Liu sat with headphones on, listening to intercepted Collective messages. Her eyes suddenly widened. "Captain," she called over the comm. "You need to hear this." Minutes later, Helena stood beside Liu's station, listening to a translated message. "Admiral Zexthaler has been given command of a special battle group," Liu explained. 30 of their best ships with orders to find and destroy us." Helena's face remained calm, but her eyes narrowed. "Zexthaler, I know that name." "The Butcher of Titan," Rodriguez said quietly. "He led the attack that wiped out our moon base. 9,000 dead." The bridge fell silent. Everyone had lost someone in this war. "Can you track their communications?" Helena asked Liu. The young woman nodded. "They don't know I broke their newest encryption. I can hear everything they say." "Good. That gives us an advantage. Helena turned to the navigator. Change of plans. We're not going to target 4. Where then, Captain? Helena's eyes gleamed with a dangerous light. We're going hunting ourselves. In another part of the galaxy, aboard the massive collective command ship Eternal Light, Admiral Zex Thiller reviewed the reports of the human attacks. The Admiral had 8 arms and skin that shifted colors with his mood. Currently, it was deep purple, the color of rage. These humans, he hissed to his officers, always so primitive, yet they survived like insects. This new ship of theirs can't hide forever. His second-in-command approached cautiously. The Council is concerned, Admiral. 4 outposts lost. Nothing has ever penetrated our shields before. Because they aren't using energy weapons, Zex Thiller said. Simple metal projectiles, moving very fast. Primitive but effective. He turned all 4 of his eyes toward the star map. We will adapt. We will hunt this human ship, and when we find it, we will crush it completely. Back on the Nemesis, Takahashi was in the engine room, running tests on the dark matter core. The strange energy pulsed and swirled, sometimes seeming to reach toward him. The instabilities are getting worse, he told Helena when she visited. Sometimes it seems like it's trying to communicate. Helena stared at the core. Can we still fight? Yes, but I don't know for how long. There's something happening that wasn't in any of our simulations. Helena placed her hand on his shoulder. Keep it running, engineer. We need every advantage. That night, as most of the crew slept, the Nemesis changed course again. For the first time in the long war, humans were not running away. They were moving toward danger, toward the hunter that sought them. But thanks to Lou's decoded messages, they knew exactly where Admiral Zex Thiller would be. For once, humans would set the trap, not fall into one. Proxima Station was the largest collective supply hub in the sector. Hundreds of alien ships came and went each day, bringing food, weapons, and materials to support the war against Earth. Admiral Zex Thiller had set his trap carefully. His 30 warships waited in hiding, powered down to avoid detection. The human ship must come here eventually, he told his captains. Their attacks follow a pattern. They target our most important bases. When they arrive, we will surround them and destroy them. The Admiral's skin glowed with confidence. The hunt would end today. Aboard the Nemesis, Captain Helena stood on the bridge as they approached Proxima Station. The crew was tense. Everyone knew they were doing something dangerous. Liu, Helena called. Are you still intercepting their communications? Liu nodded. Yes, Captain. They think we don't know about the trap. Helena smiled slightly. Good. Rodriguez, is the new weapon system ready? The security chief checked his panel. Nanite swarms are armed and ready, Captain, but we've never tested them in actual combat. Today they get their test, Helena replied. She addressed the entire bridge. Everyone listen carefully. We are deliberately entering a trap. I need you all to trust me. We spring their trap, then spring our own. The Nemesis dropped out of faster-than-light travel directly in front of Proxima Station. Alarms immediately sounded throughout the station. Within minutes, Zex Thiller's battle group appeared, surrounding the human ship in a perfect circle. We have them, Zex Thiller cried, his skin flashing bright orange with excitement. All ships, open fire. Energy beams from 30 ships struck the Nemesis simultaneously. The human ship's shields glowed brightly but held. On the Nemesis bridge, systems flashed warnings. Shields at 60%. Takahashi reported from engineering. We can't take much more of this. Helena nodded. We don't need to. Launch nanite swarms, all targets. Small dark pods shot out from the Nemesis toward the collective ships. The aliens, expecting more kinetic weapons, braced for impacts. But the pods simply attached to their hulls and seemed to do nothing. Zex Thiller laughed. Their weapons failed. Press the attack. Then the screaming began. On every collective ship, tiny machines smaller than dust particles had eaten through the hulls, and were now attacking the crew directly. The nanites targeted organic material, consuming the aliens from the inside out. Horror spread through the collective fleet as crews died in terrible ways. Their culture had a special fear of bodily desecration, and now they faced an enemy that turned their bodies into weapons against them. Collective ships are breaking formation, Lou reported, her face pale at the destruction they had unleashed. Target their flagship, Helena ordered. Main kinetic drivers, fire when ready. The massive rods launched toward Zex Thaler's command ship, but as the battle raged, Rodriguez noticed something on his security panel. "Captain," he said quietly, "someone accessed the weapons control from a terminal in the lower decks. Someone who shouldn't have access." Helena's eyes narrowed. "We have a traitor on board." "It appears so. And they've been sabotaging systems for days." As the battle continued around them, a new danger emerged from within. And in the engine room, the dark matter core pulsed with strange energy, creating ripples in reality throughout the lower decks of the ship. The Nemesis limped away from the battle at Proxima Station, though they had destroyed 12 collective ships and damaged many more. They had not escaped unharmed. Hull breaches on the lower decks had killed 7 crew members, and the shields were badly damaged. Captain Helena ordered the ship to hide in an uncharted nebula where the strange gases and dust would mask their presence. For 3 days, the crew worked around the clock making repairs. Helena sat alone in her quarters, staring at a small photo of her husband and daughter from before the Mars colony attack. Dark circles showed under her eyes. She had not slept well since the battle. "Captain," Rodriguez's voice came through the comm. "I need to speak with you privately." Minutes later, the security chief laid out his evidence on Helena's desk. "The sabotage is real," he said. "Someone changed the targeting systems during the battle. Someone with high-level access." Helena's face hardened. "How many people have that kind of access?" "Only 5 besides yourself," Rodriguez replied. "Me, Takahashi, Liu, Dr. Chandrasekhar, and First Officer Wei." "I trust all of you," Helena said. "But someone is working against us. Watch them all. Find the traitor." That night, as Helena finally fell into an exhausted sleep, the nightmares came again. She saw Mars colony burning. She heard her daughter's voice calling for help. But this time, something was different. Another voice whispered beneath the dream, strange and not quite human. "Helena," it called. "We see you. We know your fear. We want to help." She woke with a gasp, heart pounding. The voice had seemed so real. For a moment, she thought she saw shadows moving in the corner of her room, but when she turned on the light, nothing was there. In the engine room, Dr. Chandrasekhar, the scientist who had designed the dark matter core, worked alone. He was a thin man with intelligent eyes and nervous hands. He carefully measured the strange energy pulses coming from the core. "Impossible," he muttered. The readings made no sense. The core wasn't just unstable, it was changing in ways he never anticipated. According to his instruments, tiny tears in reality were opening and closing around the ship. Takahashi entered the engine room. "I've been getting reports of strange sightings throughout the lower decks," he told Chandrasekhar. "Crew members seeing shadows, hearing whispers." The scientist nodded slowly. "I believe the core is becoming aware. The dark matter isn't just energy. It might be semi-sentient, perhaps even connecting to another dimension." "That's crazy talk," Takahashi said, but his voice was uncertain. "Is it?" Chandrasekhar pointed to his readings. "This ship is changing. We are all changing with it." Far across the galaxy, the collective High Council gathered in emergency session. Representatives from 23 alien species sat in a great circular chamber. "This human ship has destroyed 4 outposts and 12 warships," the council leader said. Admiral Zex Thaler barely escaped with his life. A tall, insect-like alien stood. "If this continues, my species will withdraw from the collective. We did not join to lose." The humans must be destroyed completely, another counselor demanded. Use the planet killer weapon. End this once and for all. The council leader looked troubled. The weapon is not yet ready, but I will authorize Admiral Zexthaler to use any means necessary to destroy this human ship. Any means at all. 3 days after leaving the nebula, the Nemesis picked up a distress signal. It was weak and hidden in background noise, using an old Earth military code. It's human, Lou confirmed, her eyes wide with surprise. There shouldn't be any humans this far into collective space. Captain Helena ordered the ship to investigate. They found a small collective science vessel drifting alone. Its engines were damaged but still working. Scan for life signs, Helena commanded. I'm reading 12 collective aliens, Rodriguez reported. And 23 humans. Captain, those are prisoners. Helena's decision was immediate. Prepare a rescue team. We're bringing our people home. The boarding team, led by Rodriguez, cut their way into the alien ship. They fought through light resistance, the collective scientists more surprised than prepared for battle. In the lower sections, they found what they were looking for, holding cells containing human prisoners. Most were thin and weak, but alive. As the rescue team helped them toward the Nemesis, Rodriguez discovered something disturbing. A laboratory filled with medical equipment and strange containers. Inside each container floated a human brain, connected to collective computers. Dr. Chandrasekhar examined the laboratory data while the rescued prisoners were taken to the medical bay. This is why they've been so determined to destroy us, he told Helena later. They've been studying human brains, trying to understand how we think. Why would they care about our thinking? Helena asked. Because we're unpredictable to them, Chandrasekhar explained. Collective species think logically, step by step, but humans make intuitive leaps. We see connections they can't. They find this both fascinating and terrifying. Among the rescued prisoners was a woman named Morgan Chen. Unlike the others, she appeared strong and alert. Once cleared by medical, she asked to speak with the captain. I was Special Forces, Chen told Helena, captured during the fall of Europa base. They kept me isolated from the others because I resisted their tests. What did you learn while captive? Helena asked. Chen's eyes darkened. The collective is building something, Captain. A weapon big enough to destroy Earth's sun. They call it the solar hammer. Helena felt cold fear grip her heart. How close is it to completion? Very close. Maybe weeks. They're building it around a collapsing neutron star in the Helios sector. Helena thanked Chen and immediately called her officers together. They needed to find and destroy this superweapon before it could be used against Earth. As they planned, strange events continued throughout the ship. 3 crew members reported seeing shadowy figures in the corridors that vanished when approached. Equipment turned on and off by itself. And in the medical bay, the rescued prisoners all reported the same dreams, whispers from the darkness, offering help against the collective. In the engine room, the dark matter core pulsed faster than ever. Chandrasekhar spent hours watching it, taking notes. Sometimes he spoke to it quietly when he thought no one was listening. I know you're there, he whispered to the swirling energy. I know you want to help us. And deep in the darkness of the core, something seemed to answer. The shadows gathered, reaching out. The Nemesis wasn't just a ship anymore. It was awakening to something new, something that might save humanity, or consume it. The Nemesis moved through enemy space at maximum speed. According to Chen's information, they had less than 2 weeks to find and destroy the solar hammer before it could be used against Earth. The weapon is built around a collapsing neutron star, Helena explained to her officers. Its gravity will be focused and directed at our sun, causing it to explode. How do we destroy something built around a neutron star? Takahashi asked. That's like trying to blow up a planet. Helena's face was grim. We'll find a way. We have to. As the ship traveled, Rodriguez continued his investigation into the saboteur. Security cameras had caught glimpses of someone moving through restricted areas at night, but never a clear image. It was as if the cameras themselves were being manipulated. Late that night, Rodriguez set a trap. He secretly changed the access codes to the weapons systems and waited. Just after midnight, his monitor showed someone trying to use the old codes to enter the secure area. He rushed to the weapons bay with 2 security officers. They found Dr. Chandrasekhar standing at a control panel, his fingers moving quickly over the keys. "Stop right there, Doctor," Rodriguez ordered, weapon raised. "Step away from the panel." Chandrasekhar turned slowly. His eyes seemed different somehow, darker, with strange lights moving in their depths. "You don't understand," he said quietly. "I'm not sabotaging the ship. I'm helping it evolve." In the captain's quarters, Helena was awakened by the security alert. She rushed to the weapons bay to find Rodriguez holding Chandrasekhar at gunpoint. "He's the traitor, Captain," Rodriguez said. "I caught him accessing weapons controls." Chandrasekhar shook his head. "Not a traitor, a messenger. The entities in the core have chosen to help us, but we need to let them in." "Entities?" Helena asked. "What are you talking about?" "The dark matter core isn't just power," Chandrasekhar explained. "It's a doorway to another dimension, one inhabited by beings who have been watching our war with the collective. They want to help us win." "He's lost his mind," Rodriguez said. "The core's radiation must have affected his brain." Before Helena could decide what to do, alarms sounded throughout the ship. Lou's voice came over the comm system. "Captain, to the bridge. We found it, the solar hammer. But we've also found something else, a massive collective fleet guarding it. At least 50 ships, including Admiral Zexthaler's flagship." Helena ordered Chandrasekhar confined to quarters with guards and rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, she saw an incredible sight. A massive structure orbiting a small, incredibly dense star. The neutron star glowed with deadly blue light, and the collective had built a ring around it, with enormous energy collectors pointing toward the star. "That's it," Chen confirmed, now working on the bridge as an advisor. "The solar hammer. Once fully charged, it can direct the neutron star's energy at any target, even across vast distances." Even worse, surrounding the structure was the largest collection of collective warships they had ever seen. Admiral Zexthaler had gathered a fleet that outnumbered and outgunned them completely. "We can't fight that many ships," Takahashi said. "Even with all our weapons, we'd be destroyed in minutes." Helena stared at the screen, facing an impossible choice. Retreat meant Earth's certain destruction. Attack meant the Nemesis would almost certainly be destroyed. In the holding cell, Chandrasekhar sat quietly, eyes closed. "It's time," he whispered. "Let them in, Captain. It's our only hope." Captain Helena paced the bridge as her officers argued about what to do. The massive collective fleet hadn't detected them yet, but they soon would. "We can't fight them directly," Rodriguez insisted. "We need to retreat and come back with reinforcements." "Earth has no reinforcements to send," Helena reminded him. "We are the last hope." Liu spoke up. "What about Dr. Chandrasekhar? What if he's telling the truth about the entities in the core?" Helena had been thinking about this. It seemed impossible, yet the strange events on the ship couldn't be explained any other way. She made her decision. "Bring the doctor to the engine room. I want to hear exactly what these entities want." In the engine room, the dark matter core pulsed with strange energy. Shadows seemed to move around it, stretching toward them when they entered. "They've been trying to communicate," Chandrasekhar explained. "The core is a doorway between our world and theirs. They've been watching our war with the collective." "Why would they help us?" Helena asked. "They admire human emotions," the scientist said. "They find us fascinating, especially our capacity to feel fear and still keep fighting." Helena stared at the swirling core. "What would they do if we let them in?" "They would merge with the ship's systems, and with our minds. They could give us power beyond anything the collective has seen." Helena thought of Earth, of all the humans counting on them. Sometimes survival required terrible risks. "Do it," she ordered. Chandrasekhar smiled and approached the core. He adjusted controls and spoke strange words to the shadows. The core's pulsing increased rapidly. Suddenly, darkness flowed out of the core like liquid night. It spread through the engine room, up the walls, and into the corridors beyond. Throughout the ship, crew members gasped as the darkness touched them, entered them. Helena felt it reach her mind, cold at first, then warm with understanding. Thoughts not her own flickered through her consciousness. The entities were connecting the crew together, creating a network of human minds. Outside, the collective fleet finally detected them. Admiral Zexthaler's voice came through the communication system. "Human vessel, you are surrounded. Surrender or be destroyed." Helena felt strange power flowing through her. The entire crew could feel it too. They were one mind now, connected through the entities. "Target the lead ships," she ordered, her voice sounding strange even to herself. But instead of firing weapons, the Nemesis projected something new: human emotion. The collective consciousness of the crew, amplified by the entities, broadcast pure fear across space. The collective ships were bombarded not with weapons but with human nightmares. Aliens experienced the terrors of human history, our wars, our horror stories, our darkest thoughts. They felt what it meant to be human in a hostile universe, always fighting against extinction. Many alien crews went mad instantly. Some ships turned weapons on themselves rather than continue experiencing these alien emotions. Admiral Zexthaler, stronger than most, managed to hold on to his sanity, but even he was changed forever by the touch of human fear. "Retreat," he ordered, his voice shaking. "Retreat immediately." The mighty collective fleet broke formation and fled in panic, leaving the solar hammer unprotected. On the Nemesis, the crew stood in silent awe. They could feel each other's thoughts, sense each other's emotions, and they could feel the ship itself, now alive with the entity's power. "We've become something new," Helena whispered. "Neither human nor alien. Something the galaxy has never seen before." With the collective fleet scattered, the Nemesis approached the solar hammer. The massive weapon hung in space like a metal ring around the glowing neutron star. Its energy collectors were already gathering the deadly power needed to destroy Earth's sun. "We need to disable it," Helena said. The connection between the crew remained strong. They could feel each other's thoughts, share knowledge instantly. It made working together easier than ever before. "The control center is there." Chen pointed to a section of the ring. "If we destroy that, the whole weapon should shut down." The Nemesis fired its kinetic weapons. The massive tungsten rods struck the solar hammer's control center, causing explosions across the structure. But the weapon was too large and too well built to be destroyed completely. "It's damaged but still functional," Takahashi reported. "And I'm detecting new ships entering the system. The collective is sending reinforcements." Helena knew they couldn't stay to finish the job. "Set course for Earth. We need to warn them what's coming." The journey back to Earth was faster than ever before. The entities from the dark matter core had improved the ship's engines, allowing them to make jumps that should have been impossible. Helena could feel the entities guiding them, showing them paths through space that human science had never discovered. Through their mental connection, Dr. Chandrasekhar shared information with the entire crew. "The entities have been watching our war with the collective. They exist in a dimension parallel to ours. They cannot directly interact with our world except through the dark matter." "Why help us?" Helena asked through the mental link. "They find humans fascinating. Our emotions, our determination to survive against impossible odds. The collective species lack these qualities. They are too logical, too cold." As the Nemesis approached Earth, they received desperate messages. The collective had launched a full-scale attack on humanity's home planet. Hundreds of alien ships filled Earth's skies. "We're too late," Lou whispered. But Helena wasn't ready to give up. "Take us in. We're going to show the collective what the Nemesis can really do now." As they entered the Sol system, The Nemesis made a stop at Mars. Something was pulling them there, knowledge from the entities guiding them to an important discovery. From orbit, they could see massive excavations on the Martian surface. The collective had been digging deep into the planet. They found something, Chen said. Something they've been looking for a long time. A small team including Helena, Chen, and Chandrasekhar took a shuttle down to the excavation site. What they found changed everything they understood about the war. Deep beneath the Martian surface lay the remains of an ancient alien base. Not collective, but something much older. The technology was unlike anything humans had seen before. Precursor technology, Chandrasekhar said with awe. A species that died out millions of years ago. Their technology was said to be like magic. But the most shocking discovery came when Helena approached a control panel. It lit up at her touch, responding only to her human neural patterns. This is why they want to destroy us, Helena realized. The precursor technology responds only to humans. The collective can't use it without us. Now they understood the true stakes of the war. The collective didn't just fear humans. They needed human brains to access the powerful precursor technology. With Earth hours from falling, Helena formulated a desperate plan. We're going to save our planet, she told her crew through their mental connection. Or die trying. The Nemesis approached Earth, where hundreds of collective ships filled the skies. Cities burned below as alien weapons rained down on the last human stronghold. We can't fight them all, Takahashi said. We won't fight them conventionally, Helena replied. Through their shared mental connection, she explained her plan to the entire crew. Everyone understood immediately. The Nemesis positioned itself between Earth and the main collective fleet. Helena opened a channel to all ships. This is Captain Helena Reyes of the HMS Nemesis. You have one chance to retreat from Earth and end this war. On his flagship, Admiral Zex Thiller received the message. His skin flickered between colors as conflicting emotions fought within him. Fear battled with duty. Destroy that ship, he ordered. All weapons, fire now. The collective fleet launched everything they had at the single human battleship. Energy beams and missiles converged on the Nemesis. Its shields glowed brightly but somehow held against the onslaught. In the engine room, Dr. Chandrasekhar worked with the dark matter core, which now pulsed with blinding light. The entities from beyond helped him reshape the core's structure, preparing it for what was to come. All crew, Helena called. Focus your minds. Remember why we fight. Every crew member closed their eyes, connecting deeper with each other and with the ship itself. They thought of Earth, of family members lost, of humanity's struggle to survive. They remembered laughter, love, grief, hope, the full spectrum of human experience. The Nemesis began to glow, not with energy weapons, but with raw emotion. This time, the ship projected not just fear, but everything human. Their love, their grief, their hope, their defiance against impossible odds, their ability to find humor even in darkness. This wall of human experience slammed into the collective fleet. Many alien captains, overwhelmed by emotions they never knew existed, surrendered immediately. Others retreated in confusion. Admiral Zex Fowler's flagship remained. The Admiral had faced the human emotional weapon before and steeled himself against it. His ship engaged the Nemesis directly. Target his engines, Helena ordered. The Nemesis fired its kinetic weapons, crippling the Admiral's ship. As the two vessels faced each other, something unexpected happened. The dark matter core reached critical mass, creating a localized reality distortion. A void opened in space around the Nemesis, swallowing half the remaining collective fleet. When the darkness cleared, the Nemesis had changed. Its hull now shimmered with strange new technology, a perfect blend of human engineering, the entity's power, and precursor technology from Mars. The ship had evolved into something new, partly machine, partly living consciousness. Admiral Zex Thaler, watching from his damaged flagship, finally understood. He opened a channel to Helena. You could destroy us all, he said. Why don't you? Because humans understand mercy, Helena replied, something the collective never learned. In the days that followed, the remaining collective ships retreated from Earth. News spread throughout the galaxy of the human ship that had defeated the mighty collective fleet. Other species, long oppressed by the collective, began to rebel. The Nemesis, now legendary, became the first of a new class of vessels, not merely built by humans, but existing in symbiosis with them. Captain Helena, her consciousness permanently linked to her ship, led a delegation to the collective homeworlds to dictate terms for peace. The galaxy had indeed learned to fear humanity, but they also learned that humans, unlike the collective, offered mercy even in victory. As reports came in of other human ships beginning to develop similar connections with their crews, humanity prepared to take its rightful place among the stars. Not as conquerors, but as teachers, not through domination, but understanding. The fear they had taught the galaxy would be balanced by the compassion only humans could truly offer.